Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 15 of A Wild Podcast Has Appeared. I did not forget the name of the podcast.
We have appeared before you yet again.
We've been doing this for like almost 4 months now, so you wouldn't have an excuse.
I am your host, Jim Viscardi, and with me, as always, Christian Hoffer with the sardonic comments. Thank you, and Megan Peters.
Hello.
There is so much news today.
Oh my God.
The Pokemon Company's blessed in the way that it always has its big announcements on the day that we record this.
It's so
They know it's because we work with them. No, I'm just kidding.
And if you're new to the show's breaking up into two parts, really. We do a news brief where we're going to hit a bunch of stuff. Pokemon Go stuff, Pikachu Festival, a bunch of Pokemon gear. Good Lord. And then we take a little break. Then we go into a deep dive section where we got a ton of awesome Sword and Shield news today, and I can't wait to talk about it. And then at the very end, Christian gives us what we have coined the fan favorite segment of the show, the Pokemon Fact of the Week, which this week is right back to our dark place. Which
we bounce back and forth. I give a little happy, and then I get dark. It's like one of the new Pokemon that got debuted this week. So
excellent.
Stick around for that talk.
That's right. Stick around, and we'll be back. All right. There is a lot of quick hitting new stuff things. While I want to give everything their proper time, just keep that in mind, folks. We got to move a little bit because I want to talk about a certain Galar evolution later in the show. Pokemon Go, 1 billion downloads. Does not mean 1 billion players, but that is still a big number to put up.
That's pretty huge considering the game came out 3 years ago. It did
faster or slower than you expected?
I mean, depends on when you ask me that question. I mean, remember that within the first 2 months of the game, it got 500 million downloads.
Yep.
So it took a few weeks to get 500 million, and then a few years to double that number. But still impressive. The game's still going strong. I think that it exceeded everyone's expectations there.
Yep.
I don't think anyone expected this game to be doing so well, pumping so much new content.
Do we know how many monthly active users the game's got? Niantic says it every once in a while, right?
Yeah, well, they keep it pretty close to the chest. We get estimates every once in a while. It's still among the top 5 most played games in the world on a pretty frequent basis. So, all the estimates still say it's a top tier game, competing with stuff like Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, whatever the hot new game of the month is. I think, Fortnite.
Yeah, for a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a lot of people.
That's
a lot of Pokemon caught.
What? There's 7 billion people in the world, so it's 1/7 of the population.
God,
I can't do my
like that.
I can't do my math well. So just if that's not right, just cheer me on anyways, because I tried.
It's 1/7. There's 7 parts to the whole. It's
but right, yeah, I think it works out. Math, you're
14.8% of the population.
Oh, there we go.
Now now we got the mathematician whipping out.
Oh, I work at a bank. I know numbers.
Yeah, it's I use math every day.
Let's talk more about some of the Pokemon Go stuff before we go elsewhere. 2 new shiny families added to the game.
Yes.
Poliwag and Bonsly.
Yes, so the Pseudo-Wudo family.
Yes.
People probably, when I wrote Bonsly, because that's the baby Pokemon, that didn't show up till later in the franchise, so people probably know it for Pseudo-Wudo. But yeah, we got 2 different events going on this week. There's a special gift event where you get 20, I think you can store up to 30 gifts and send out 20 gifts per day, and all the Pokemon eggs that you get from gifts are 2-kilometer eggs instead of 7-kilometer eggs. They'll still contain the Pokemon that you would usually get with the 7-kilometer eggs. So all your baby Pokemon like Shinx, and what's the other one which I can get? The baby version of Lucario. I'm real.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. So there's that. So that's going on this week. And also, there's a global challenge going on this week. to celebrate the Pokemon Go Fest that's going on in Japan, so they released all the shiny Polywogs and its various evolutions into the game as part of that.
I
So-
saw it seemed like Poliwag was not spawning as much as people would have liked.
Yeah, nope. I have yet to see a Poliwag during
Yeah.
this event. I've seen like all the other Pokemon that are like attached to it. So the Gen 4 starters. There's some fossil Pokemon, which is nice if you haven't finished up your Meltan research from last November. This gives you an opportunity to make some progress on that. But yeah, no Poliwogs yet. So that seems to be a thing. Here's the thing. Shiny Poliwag will be a permanent addition to Pokemon Go. So just because you can't get it this week doesn't mean that it's going away.
Right.
So it kind of sucks that they added the shiny Poliwag and now people want the new shiny and they can't find it anywhere. But patience, Poliwag's not going anywhere. You'll get it eventually.
But is that a thing where you think Niantic is purposely making it harder to find, or do you think that's in 2 days Niantic's going to come out and be like, "Ooh, sorry, we screwed up. Poliwag's actually in the game now."
I honestly don't know, because I think people in Japan are still getting the Poliwag.
Yeah.
And they never specifically promoted, like,
true. It
hey,
kinda just showed
Poliwag's
up.
going to spawn. Yeah. So it could be deliberate, it could be not. Who knows
Yeah.
what's deliberate and what's a mistake in Pokemon Go? Could be a happy little accident. It could be something deliberate. It's all a mystery. We're just along for the ride.
We also got a bunch of shadow Pokemon too.
Yeah, they added about a dozen shadow Pokemon species. So so the narrative, which once again I love this, is that they're trying to build a narrative here with Pokemon Go, is that after players beat back Team Rocket during their worldwide 1-hour Team Rocket event, they decide to beef up their ranks with shadow Pokemon. So there's about a dozen new Pokemon species, everything from Ralts. I saw. Honestly, I forget what all the Pokemon species were. That it feels like that happened a lifetime ago. That happened. Give me a second.
I mean, there's a bunch of cool ones.
The only thing I care about is
yeah.
that Vaporeon is safe.
No shadow
So
Vaporeon yet.
Yeah.
So Poliwag, Primer, Muck, Drowsy, Cubone, Scyther, Magikarp, Houndour, and
Can you imagine
those
just getting a
Pokemon.
shadow
So,
Magikarp?
the-
I mean,
it would just be some bad sushi.
the deadliest of all the Pokemon. Shadow.
I'm thinking more like Shadow Psyduck. Like, man, that's a hard
That-
pass for me.
That would actually be like a really dangerous Pokemon, like a Psyduck that isn't trying to control its destructive psychic powers, and so it's just like mind blasting anything that moves.
did I miss something? Can you evolve shadow Pokemon?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
man.
They still have the crappy frustration move.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's your incentive.
But
for
a shiny,
not-
but a sorry, not shiny, but a shadow Gyarados.
Yeah, the preview image
Gimme,
when they
gimme.
announced that all these new shadow Pokemon were coming had a shadow Gyarados, and
Gimme,
it looks
gimme,
pretty,
gimme.
yeah, it looks pretty freaking awesome. That would be a Pokemon not to mess around with.
But honestly, the best part about all of this is the Giovanni photobombing.
Yeah.
Like that is.
He has come down from his high lofty center in the
I love
world.
that. Like Giovanni's been a character that, has obviously been associated with Team Rocket for forever long, but is used surprisingly sparingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the amount of restraint that they've shown in using Giovanni, and I love that he's being used here.
Yeah, I think that, and also he looks like so much cooler than he does in like the Pokemon anime.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
in the anime, he kind of looks like this like generic, villain for lack of a better term. But in like, even in like the games, he's kind of got this like, he doesn't look really threatening. But when you
Yeah,
actually
he
put
just
him
looks
in
like someone in the mafia.
yeah, now he looks like when you make him give him proper human proportions. And don't make him like a little like chibi figure or like this big and like 8 pixels. He actually looks like he could like genuinely. He looks like he's killed some people. Like
He knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, he is definitely like
Good old
mur-
cement shoes Giovanni.
Oof.
Yeah, executed some people. yeah, he's definitely someone you don't want to cross. So I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do here. Clearly, Giovanni's coming to Pokemon Go. We don't know what he's going to do yet. If you're going to be able to battle them, and here's the other thing: if you can battle Giovanni in Pokemon Go,
What's to
what
stop
other
other
character
gym
would you be able-
trainers?
Yep.
The
Yep.
thing that I really want to happen is like we're really bringing Team Rocket. We know we can already switch teams. Like when can I join Team Rocket? When can I ditch Team Mystic? Sorry, repping Team Mystic for life, but when can I ditch them and join Team Rocket and become a grunt?
Oh
Well,
man.
and you
That's-
already
that's the
you already
ultimate
have-
goal.
You can already buy like the Team Rocket.
Gear.
I
like,
know, but I
gear.
want like the raids. I want to be part of this. That's my goal. I know
want to
Niantic isn't
take
that
over
sophisticated right
Pokestop.
now, but that's what I want. I want to go
That would
full
be-
chaotic evil.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't even
like we're
think
going
about
Murder
like,
Hobo in
that
Pokemon
potentially
Go.
being an option to like do in the game. But I love it.
Yeah, like if that could ever happen, if they're like, hey, so clearly you guys are better than us, so how about we recruit some of
Well, the
you
real-
to our team,
the
and
cool-
I will immediately jump ship.
Like I would love to see because whenever games introduce kind of a mechanic like that, like would a bunch of people? I imagine a bunch of people because if you join Team Rocket, you probably get something special or whatnot. Would like go join Team Rocket and then leave Team Rocket. But I would be really curious to see what the split inevitably ends up looking like versus.
So many players would jump ship. I
So
mean,
many.
basically everybody but the people who are like super serious about what teams you join. Do you remember when the game first came out and
Oh,
people
yeah.
would get really like pissed off about when you would insult their team?
Yeah, people would get tattoos of their team logos.
All I know
Yeah,
is that
Permanent tattoos.
all that I know is that the blood war between blue and yellow is just never, ever, 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 ever going to end.
But that's what I mean, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I imagine a small percentage of those people would go to Team Rocket, but they've got that loyalty, man.
God, yeah, I remember. It seems to have cooled down. Like, I no longer get like death threats when I make fun of Spark in a Pokemon Go article. But like during that like first month, like whenever I would make like an anti-Spark comment, like people would like yell at me on Twitter, like, "How
they
dare
are-
you?
Still
I'm
see
never gonna
like
read."
bumper
ride or die.
stickers and car decals for.
Yeah, man.
I see a lot of
Various
hats.
teams.
Like when
Lot
I'm
of
out,
hats.
at, like
Yeah.
when I'm at like the park or something at one of the bigger like pogo places around town, like I'll see like especially if it's like an event weekend or like anything like that, I'll see like hats. So
Yeah, I attended a convention last weekend, and it had nothing to do with Pokemon like at all, and I saw a ton of like third-party T-shirts with like various Pokemon Go. A lot of like Team Mystic, like here's Team Mystic's logo done up like at the Game of Thrones style, like coat of arms or like sigil. So many of those.
Nice.
It was nuts.
Speaking of hats, Pikachu with hats are
Yeah.
back.
Oh, nice.
All the hats.
I appreciate your segue. That was good transition.
Doesn't work as a good
there.
segue if you call out the good segue.
Well,
it's
hey,
because Hoffer is here.
complimenting you,
Hoffer's singular job here is to sabotage you. That's
That's
why.
true. I'm here to put you in your place. You can't control me, Jim. But anyways, yeah, Pikachu with hats. All the hat Pokemon, Pikachu are back. They're cycling through them one a day. So by the time you listen to this, you will have already missed out on your chance to catch like Santa hat Pikachu, and I think today's
worst
is
one.
like summer hat. Is it birthday hat or summer hat Pikachu that's popping up today? I haven't seen one today.
Yeah, I haven't seen
I
him
think
yet.
it's summer hat.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is summer hat though.
So yeah, they're cycling through those one a day. Nice chance if you haven't gotten the Pikachu hats, and like honestly, like all the hardcore Pokemon Go fans are kind of like grumbling about this because that used to be like easy fodder for trades. It's like, oh, did you miss Halloween 3 years ago? Here's your here's a Woodcat Pikachu that I'll trade for, like one of your extra shinies. And now
Yeah.
people can't do that.
Nope.
Because
They just flooded the market of hatted Pikachus.
yeah. Oh, Pokemon Go.
Oh,
Ruining the
that
trade
whole-
value.
That whole aftermarket is just crumbling.
Yeah, it was announced, and I just went, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, I mean,
I only
Whatever.
like it because my kid loves Ash hat Pikachu,
Yeah.
and so
a classic, truly.
so anytime we find that, she gets excited about it. But all right, so Pikachus with hats are out.
Yep.
In a effort to continue to make me incredibly jealous because there are 0 here in the States, London is getting a Pokemon Center.
Yes. To celebrate the launch of Pokemon Sword and Shield, England is finally getting its own Pokemon Center. It's only opening for 1 month. So it's like one of those temporary pop-up shops that we've seen in places like Singapore's gotten one of those. A couple of Southeastern Asian countries have gotten these pop-up Pokemon Centers. But now they're moving it across the pond. I don't think that's technically if you're going from Asia.
Nope. Yep.
to
They are
England,
going. Yeah.
They're going
Yeah.
around the pond.
Yeah,
They're going over a lot of
going
land.
The opposite side, they're doing a very large land tract. I don't know. Anyways, they're showing up in London for a month. They're going to sell these cute little Pikachus wearing like a bowler cap and holding a Psyduck umbrella and wearing a suit. So you'll be able to pick up various merchandise with that and some other exclusive merchandise that you can't get anywhere else in the world for 1 month.
It always amazes me the amount of random exclusives that they can create. It honestly seems infinite and endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time they do it, it's like, that's my new favorite.
Yep.
I don't understand how that happens.
Well, I mean, they're all Pikachus,
But
so
almost
maybe
never
they just
fail.
have like a factory that's dedicated to like dressing up different Pikachu.
Yeah.
You know, like okay, guys, we're moving from like the Lugia outfits to like bowler Pikachu hats, and so they ship bunch of little suits, and so
They
you
took
just have
Pikachu to the Kingsman shop. Got him a suit.
Yeah.
No, like
Oh,
I'll say, like when I was in Japan, like I went to all the Pokemon centers for the sole purpose of getting each of the stores exclusive Pikachus. Like, duh. Duh. Except then I had the issue of trying to get them all back in my suitcase, and I was like, I'm sorry, Pikachu, but I am smooshing you.
Another fun Pokemon event that none of us can go to is the Pikachu Festival.
Yes,
Yeah,
in
the
Yokohama,
invasion?
Japan.
Yep, the
Outbreak?
Pikachu Outbreak Festival. The Pikachu have returned to Yokohama.
What a
once
weird
again.
name.
This is
Why would you call it an outbreak festival?
because it's an outbreak of Pikachu.
They're
I
everywhere.
guess, but that sounds like
I mean, it's better than
pandemic.
a plague of Pikachu have descended upon
The Pikachu plague. Yeah, that's
Children-
horrifying.
Children are living in
That's what I mean.
fear as the Pikachu march through the street, occupying the city for a month.
It's just like 28 days later when you wake up and instead of zombies, it's just Pikachu.
Just
Yeah.
a bunch of freaking
One of
Pikachu.
my friends is there right now, and I've been contacting her because she booked her travel to make sure she'd have like a Airbnb to stay at Yokohama. She did that like months ago, and she's like, you cannot move because there's so many people. Like
That's
it is
insane.
just like there because the whole town becomes like Pikachu centric. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
So she was sending me some videos of like all the Pikachus dancing. There was like a light show last night where they were all like the neon hipster like Pikachu's dancing, and I got real envious. I was like, just try to like hold one of their hands for me. And she was like, no, I'm pretty sure I'll get tackled. And I was like,
They can't touch them.
yeah, you can't touch them.
Can't touch them.
So one day it'll come to America.
Nice.
I actually haven't seen too many viral videos come out of this Pikachu Outbreak Festival. Usually, it's all the talk of Twitter is like, someone will post one of the pictures of like a bunch of Pikachu riding on a boat.
Oh,
and
you're
then
like
they'll-
running down a street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Well, to be
barking.
fair, it's only been like one day so far.
Okay.
Yeah. It just got started.
Still
So
plenty of time.
yeah, we got a little bit left before. So
Yeah, well, I look forward to like seeing like one of the poor Pikachu suits like deflate and then getting like, dragged off the
Don't
stage.
wish
You
that
remember
on
when
them.
Well, but they're not inflatables anymore, right? Aren't they like the hard case?
A lot of them are inflatable. It's a mix.
Oh, are they?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
But-
it's easier. It's a lot easier to make
for the
them
ones
inflatable.
that are like they move a lot, they're inflatable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. So a lot of those dancing Pikachu's, unless they're deliberately trying to make them stubby Pikachu's, and also Mimikyu and Eevee are also now like floating around, and there's also the Ditto that poses
Right.
a Pikachu. I like that like every year at the Pikachu Outbreak Festival they like quietly slip in some more Pokemon mascots. They just slip them in. They don't really advertise it. They're just like, oh yeah, did
Is
you
the
see that
Geodude we
Mimikyu?
talked about last week going to show up?
No,
yeah.
the Geodude never gone anywhere, Jim.
Wow.
wow, he might now just because of what Hopper said.
Yeah.
You know,
They're listening.
Yeah, I don't think that Geodude's listening to this podcast.
Wow.
Just someone whose job is to be that Geodude is just so sad right now.
I'd probably just be most impressed because I'm pretty sure.
Just have a little bit of faith in me, Christian.
Aw.
I could be the best Geodude you've ever seen.
I mean, that wouldn't be that hard. You just kind of walk around flexing all the time, you
Yeah.
know?
Hoffer just started someone's village and origin story.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm just going to get confronted outside my home by a Geodude.
Nice.
Well,
Speaking of Pokemon collectible stuff, if you've got $500 laying around,
yes.
I do not, Jim, because, you know, I don't make that kind of money working
you
for...
can get, I'm just going to keep going, a giant Mareep plush from the
Yeah.
Pokemon Center.
Mary
This thing-
blocked so Wooloo could run. Like, honestly, like, as much as I love Wooloo, Mareep is the OG.
This thing is like,
You know-
it's like 2 feet tall, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's massive. It's life size. It's 1-to-1 scale.
Yeah.
This has to be a prototype. They're probably like, okay, let's make sure that our sheep Pokemon making technology works. So we can just like, you know, flood the market with Wooloos. Let's, you know, do a short test run of Mareep. And then, you know, when everyone falls in love with Wooloo, we're really going to go.
But
Yeah.
$500 feels like a lot for
I mean,
a plush of that size.
You know, not if you're a real Pokemon fan, Jim.
whoa. I mean, it's officially licensed, Pokemon Center. I mean, I'm
Well, that's
sure
right.
it's,
Okay,
it's
so
so
you've
like,
got the officially licensed tax. You've
Yeah.
got the it's a 1-to-1 scale tax.
it's the whole premium collectible mentality.
Yeah.
So I just think it's hilarious that it is infinitely more expensive than the Snorlax being
That's
bag.
what I mean.
Like the Snor-
bag is gigantic and it's less
Well, the
money.
difference-
But to be fair, the
difference
Snorlax
is-
beanbag, when it was sold in Japan, was actually it was more expensive than when it was like licensed over here and then sold in the US. Because it's like it sells for like 150, 180 here if it's not on sale. But when it first came out in Japan, because it was honestly so big it could not fit into apartments over there, it was more expensive. I'm not sure what the number was, but yeah. So Mareep will one day be
Where do
cheaper.
you put a life-size Mareep?
Literally by your bed.
Yeah, and in the corner of your room to stare at you at all times.
Pet it gently.
Yeah.
Angle it so it looks at you.
I would use it. I would get 2, and I would put them at either end of the couch as armrests.
Oh, that's just
Oh my God.
that's actually horrifying.
Yeah, just a throne of Mareep. Just boom.
Where's the Pokemon Protection Agency at? How dare you?
It's it. I feel like it would just nestle into the side of a couch just perfectly. Or you get enough of them and you make an ottoman.
I want to know
That's
how
the most
like
expensive ottoman in the world.
I want to know how like sturdy it is. Like, does it have like reinforced legs?
That's
Could
not-
I put a small child on it?
Like, is it like super stuffed?
Yeah.
Or is it super smushy?
Yeah, like if it
so-
was
so-
reinforced enough that I could put like a 2-year-old child on it and have them like ride around on a Mareep, like that's worth
Because
it.
I remember, like, when I worked at Build-A-Bear, you would always ask someone, how do you want it, squishy or stuffed? And if you, like, super stuffed those bears, they were solid.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
want to know.
That's
So-
right. If I would get it. No, I would get it. I would, in my imaginary lifestyle, if it was,
Afford $500
yeah,
plushes.
if it was super stuffed, then and it had some, like, heft to it,
Yeah.
I would pick it up in my fantasy world.
And does it make the noise? Is there like one of those Build-A-Bear noises in it that
my
makes
God.
the little Pokedex noise?
That's
You know, you could hold like Mareep throwing competitions with that. You know, kind of like in Scotland, how they have like sheep tossing contests. At least I think they do. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. But I feel like
Well,
some
Jeez.
cartoon. I feel like some cartoons have done that. Yeah, you can have like Mareep tossing.
How much was that big Pikachu that they announced?
it
That was
was
like $700, right? Wasn't that like crazy?
Yeah, I think it was-
crazy or expensive.
yeah.
Actually, was it? Because we saw that at the North American Championships, and you know, my son was freaked out about it. You know, because he sees Pikachu as being, you know, able to like being held in his hand like a coffee cup. And so when he saw one that was like his size, he was like, "No, that thing is terrifying." That is for Pikachu. And I want to say it was only like 350 or something like that. Maybe they had a sale on it.
Right. Of course, like the question now is who's next?
What's
Vaporeon.
that?
Megan.
I will literally never not stop.
Geodude. They'll probably make a Geodude next.
No, they're not.
I mean, it's
I mean,
going to
they
be
would.
Eevee. We know it's going to
Eevee,
be Eevee.
I'm actually surprised they didn't go with Eevee
that-
first.
Or Psyduck. I don't know. Psyduck has had such a glow up in these last
He
few
really
years.
has.
It's such an exciting
Yeah.
phenomenon. It'll be one
No,
of
they'll
those
just
kind of like
they'll
main
just
guys.
do another Pikachu plush. Let's be real here. This is
Ditto
a Pokemon
Pikachu.
company. You know, why diversify your Pokemon plush offerings when you could just double down on Pikachu?
Honestly, the restraint Hoffer has shown in not pitching Bulbasaur is truly impressive.
Well, he can get a Build-A-Bear Bulbasaur, and that's basically
Yeah.
the same thing.
True.
When I was a kid, I owned a massive Bulbasaur that I like wanted a pair. I feel like it's already been done. You know, like that thing was like a foot tall. So you know, that's pretty close to like life size, I think.
Yeah. Probably. I
Yeah,
agree.
sure. Let's go with that.
I just got-
Anyways,
I think I mentioned to you guys I got my kid an Eevee pillow from Comic-Con this past year. I was just thinking to myself, I would totally get a Magikarp pillow, like a big one, like life-size Magikarp. Not like that tiny one you got up there, but like a big one.
Yeah, that is Mr. Fish. So when John was younger, when my son was younger, he was obsessed with Magikarp Jump, the game. That was a game that involved literally no work. Like
I like that game way more than Rumble Rush. So
Yeah, well, okay. So I bought him Mr. Fish, and he was obsessed with Mr. Fish. He would carry it around a lot and want to sleep with him. So for a while, his trio of sleeping companions included Mr. Fish. But he has cycled through it. Currently, he's on an all Pikachu kit.
nice.
Got 6 Pikachus right now, and he
Ooh.
demands all of them
That's a lot.
when at
It's a whole party.
So
It's an army.
yeah, it's 6 of them plus a Rowlet and also Bulbasaur reluctantly. He
All
mainly
right.
sleeps with Bulbasaur because he knows it makes me happy.
He already knows how to get you.
Well, we spent way more time on the Mareep plush than I thought we would have, but I'm glad we did. In moving to trading card game news, a Pokemon card has been banned.
Oh yeah, this was.
Dun dun dun.
I mean, yeah. So it's kind of funny because last week there's this there's a Pokemon card site called Pokebeach, and they ran an article last week that was kind of like, hey, what's the Pokemon company going to do about this game, about this card? It's called Blaine's Quiz Show, and so basically what you do is you pick a card in your hand, a Pokemon card, you put it down face down, and you name one of the attacks that are on that card, and the other player gets a chance to guess what Pokemon it is based on the attack. And if they get it right, they draw 4 cards, and if they get it wrong, you draw 4 cards. So, but the issue is that not all of the attacks have the exact same translations, language by language. It just didn't make sense for these an international tournament like the World Championships, which is coming up next week. So they just said it's only banned for Worlds. So you can start using it here again afterwards. But basically, just because the too many language barriers, it was too much of a hassle. And honestly, I don't think it was exactly a card that many people were going to use. A 50-50 chance to suddenly give your opponent 4 cards. That's not ideal. So yeah, but yeah, it got banned, and for the weirdest reason too. It wasn't like it was OP or something like that. It was just no, we're not going to deal with the translation stuff. We're cleaning our hands of this mess.
I'm curious to see if it gets any secondary market rise in value just because people want a banned card.
No, because it was only
Fairly
banned.
common. Yeah.
It'd be one thing if it was banned because it was too overpowered, but it's banned from one specific tournament.
That's
So I don't think it's going to raise in value. I mean, the Pokemon
Yeah.
card secondary market is all based on what cards can I use to beat my opponents.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, it won't be banned. So I was like, well,
All right, one last thing. We'll get this one out quick. Detective Pikachu is now out on home video.
Yes.
Go get it. Go watch the special features. They're actually a ton of fun.
The Mr. Mime commentary is the thing of nightmares, though. Will confirm.
My God.
Will confirm to you the thing of nightmares.
Detective mode was pretty cool. It's basically their version of a commentary track, which I thought was pretty interesting with a bit more, flash and pizzazz.
Yeah.
And then, just seeing how they were, created some of the Pokemon and how that movie came together. Again, just as being a fan of that movie, I thought it was really, really cool. So, so it's out. Go check it out. But when we get back, we are going to talk about Jim's new favorite Pokemon. All right. Galar Weezing is a stroke of pure genius for whoever designed that. For one, being a region, exclusive, picking Weezing to do it, also giving him the chimney stacks for his heads, and making them look like a top hat, and making the smoke a beard.
I'll be honest with you. When I first saw him, I was like, he just looks like a really bad Jane Austen villain. I was like, man, Elizabeth Bennet would smack him down.
It's a Downton Abbey version of Pokemon.
But I will admit, that was a pretty.
I mean, the internet immediately made the conclusion that he looked like a bong.
Yeah.
Which I can see.
So here's the crazy thing about Weezing. When you read the description of why Weezing looks the way it does, for one thing, it is the opposite of a normal Weezing. So the normal Weezing pollutes. Galarian Weezing actually cleans the air. So it actually draws in poisonous gas, which is why it has the beards of green, because that's just gas that it can't contain. And then it dilutes it and refines it, and that's why the smoke coming out of its top hat / smokestacks are like a pure misty white, because it is cleaning the air. Galar Weezing is here to save the day. If the United States can't stay in the Paris Accord, by God, Galar will, and they have the Pokemon to clean up the atmosphere. The world is saved. Thank you, Galar Weezing.
Yes.
The other Galar evolution we saw was Zigzagoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said that right.
So
Zigzagoon.
Yeah, so
Zigzagoon, not Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon.
Zigzagoon.
See? And I got you saying it.
Yeah. Anyways.
I only know this because I always named him Goonie in my game. His nickname was always Goonie.
Well, now you name it Gene.
Wow.
After Gene's names. I mean, okay. So let's explain to the viewer. So Zigzagoon is the first non-Kanto Pokemon to get a regional variant, which is huge because that means that any of the 800 Pokemon species can now get a regional variant. They aren't just limiting it to the original 151, which is fantastic. People are overjoyed about that. That's probably the best news that people have reacted to. So they made Zigzagoon. They changed it from a normal Pokemon to a dark normal Pokemon and made it look like a badger.
Yes.
So
Yep.
And Zigzagoon and its evolved form Leone, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. So
I thought it was Leone, but
yeah, I thought it was Leone.
It could. I didn't. Watch
you said it
the
wrong this
anime.
time, Christian. Yes.
It could be.
We need a counter score at this point.
Right.
I look forward to getting corrected on Twitter about it. But anyways, so they both look like badgers, and they both have a star mark on their eyes. But the other big thing that came out of this is Leone or Leone, whatever you call it, evolves into a new Pokemon, Obstagoon. So this brings back a thing that we haven't seen since Gen 4, which is existing Pokemon getting new evolutions, and we're getting regional variants, specific evolutions. So that's really cool. And Obstagoon is also a dark normal Pokemon that literally looks like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah.
True.
I saw some people comparing him to a dark David Bowie, which I can kind of also see.
No, it's 100%. It's got the tongue.
Oh yeah,
it's got the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Shoulder pads. It's got furry boots.
It looks super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obstagoon would stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's literally Gene Simmons' furry persona.
Yes.
But anyways, I died laughing at Obstagoon. I mean,
Yes.
it's awesome. It's awesome. Also, someone in the Pokemon company is a Kiss fan.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we just kept saying on this podcast that, like, or at least I know I had kept repeating, I wanted more variants because that was like the Alolan variants were like revelation to me, and the fact that now we have Galarian variants are perfect. And now I was telling Hoffer this earlier.
Galarian.
Yes,
That's the first.
also that just is
Galarian.
such a great word.
Yeah.
But like I was telling a Hoffer, because I'm obviously new generation, I'm hoping we're gonna get more evolutions. I want them to have like a TV, like T for Britain. I want them to somehow have like dual, like a variant, like water grass, like to bring together like a dual type Eevee to have TV. Has like scald, like it throws like boiling hot tea out of its mouth. Has like razor leaf
You have
because the
thought
tea.
way more about this than
That was honestly the first. As soon as I knew there were variants, I was like, "All right, we're gonna get a new Eevee. What works for Britain? TV. All right, we're done. Hire me. Like, come to me for consultation for these new Eevees." But anyways, that's my pitch, and everyone can make fun of me or support me. But
in the Pokemon Company's continued effort to make relatable Pokemon. Another one of the new ones is this is going to be new for all of us. Morpeko? Morpeko?
yes, more Pecco.
Yes.
Is that
The Hangry
is that how you
Pokemon.
think it's said, or is that somewhere and I just missed it?
I mean, they don't release,
So it
they
could
don't
be Morpeko.
release pronunciation guides when
Right.
when the PR comes out. It's not like they tell you.
That's what they need. They need to
you say
put
the
those
pronunciation.
the pronunciations
A dictionary.
just next to the names. Who has a normal type that turns into a dark type when he gets hangry.
So it's an electric type Pokemon normally. It's basically this generation's Pikachu knockoff.
Yeah.
Every generation they release one electric type Pokemon that basically looks like
road.
Pikachu. It's usually got the fuzzy, like the cheek sacs. But since this one basically looks like a little hamster, and it literally has an attack where it like runs on a wheel. It's called like Aura Wheel, I think. It's a new attack. So every turn, because it generates energy constantly, it's constantly hungry. So every turn it switches back between its full belly form, which is electric type, and its angry form, which is dark type. And part of this is that special move, the wheel attack, switches from electric type to dark type as well. So this cracks me up. One thing, Hangry is now officially a part of the Pokemon canon.
True.
And secondly, it's like they are really tapping into like the millennial zeitgeist. We had Sobble, who basically
What's what I mean?
We had the introvert Pokemon. We had Wooloo, who's this like awkward, cheap Pokemon that literally like tries to roll out of like painful situations, which like people are like, oh yes, that's me, like at family dinners or party. I if I could roll away, I relate to Wooloo. And now we have Echo, who literally is hanging. And it's like, yeah, it's hormone changes and its a behavior gets aggressive and volatile. And it's like, oh my god, this is literally me when I like don't eat like all day. Like I too, I switch from full belly to
The Pokemon Company understands us.
They do. They really do. But listen, these are some awesome new Pokemon to be added. I loved the video. I love seeing Corviknight, who I think is still going to be one of my favorite. It just looks so cool. The last thing, only because we're running out of time, so we'll run through this one really quick. Pokemon Jobs, which basically looks to me like
most millennial.
the most millennial of them all.
Welcome to the gig economy, Pokemon.
I mean, raising Pokemon are expensive. They cost so much money. It's time for you guys to get a job.
So is that okay? So is this the thing? So I didn't get to read into because I had to run into this. I didn't get to read about Pokemon Jobs that much. But is that like you send to me? It looked basically it was like the nursery school or daycare or whatever. You drop Pokemon.
No,
off.
it's like the Poképelago from the last games. So in Pokemon Sun and Moon, you had like this like set of islands that all your box Pokemon could go to, and they could like do things like collect berries or search for stones or work out or relax in the like hot springs. Well, they took that same concept, but now they're like, no, Pokemon, you're going to answer job posting.
You
so
need
it's
to, you need to
literally
support yourself.
yeah, it's literally companies and universities like saying, hey, we need like Pokemon to like work the fields, or hey, there's a construction job in town. Give us some of your strong Pokemon. So you assign your like Pokemon to different jobs, and they collect experience, and you might also get rare items in exchange for it. The whole thing is just like it's like yes, like truly the Pokemon company also understands like the freelance lifestyle.
True.
It's like, oh my god!
Look,
like
family's got to work to
Yep.
support the family.
Everyone's got to pitch in.
So the big question is if like Pokejobs like offers like any sort of benefits, or if that's totally on the trainer to like like provide healthcare benefits and 401ks.
Do you get a discount at like when you go heal your Pokemon? Oh, I see you're working with this such and such. Do you have an insurance card? Give me that discount, Nurse Joy.
Oh god, that's incredible. Well, more and more, Sword and Shield sounds to be like a lot of fun, and
Yes.
I just get more and more excited about it. I think the National Pokedex thing is truly starting to fall behind us. There is still that crew that's angry, but the more, like I said, the more we get about Sword and Shield, the more excited I am for this game.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the Pokemon fact of the week.
Yes. Let's end this podcast on a dark note.
We need we need a jingle.
It's the Poke fact of the week. You'll never sleep again.
Okay.
Gonna clip that.
Well, this one is a creepy one. So my question for you guys is, what Pokemon hunts down the child that discarded it?
Oh God.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to know.
I have no idea.
Okay, it is the Pokemon Banette. Banette is a Gen 3 Pokemon. It's the evolved form of Shuppet, which basically looks like this like little like a stereotypical ghost Pokemon. It's literally like a possessed sheet. But Banette takes the form of a doll. And the Pokedex reason for this is that it literally is cursed energy that has permeated the stuffing of a discarded and forgotten plush doll, and that gives it new life. And then once it becomes Banette, it actually wanders about in search of the children that threw them away. So
this is like.
So it's not a kid who's discarded the Pokemon, it's the kid who's discarded a stuffed toy.
Yeah, it's literally a child has like discarded some toy, and then a ghost possesses it and then hunts the child down.
So this is like the worst combination of Chucky plus Annabelle and Toy Story.
And Homeward Bound.
Yeah, literally taking the worst possible. Like Pixar would see this and be like, "We can't do this." Pokemon sees it and says, "Yes."
Yeah, Pixar goes too dark. Pokemon Company goes just right.
Pokemon goes, "We'll take it." Well, now I'm horrified.
Yeah. It also like it can curse people. So this is like one of the first Pokemon that could use the move Curse. So it's literally also a voodoo doll. So it sticks pins into its own body in order to curse the children that discarded it. I mean, can you just imagine,
This
like,
world is
being
so
like
The Pokemon universe is the most Lovecraftian, terrifying place.
I love it because then on the flip side you get Mareep.
Yes.
I can't wait for like the Sun and Moon like thing to like reveal that like Mareep was actually eats children or something like that. We'll probably get that. Like, Mareep eats its own young to generate its lustrous fur. Like we're going to get that. This thing is like Edgelord City, the Pokemon.
My favorite is like literally you have something like Banana, and then you have Wooloo, who is so scared of literally everything. It rolls into itself and rolls down hills.
Scared of everything? I mean,
yeah, I've never related harder to Wooloo in my life.
Like if you had like possessed like toys running around hunting down children, you too would just want to roll play.
Gosh, no wonder they send out kids to be Pokemon trainers. Adults are way too scared to do this anymore.
This is why you tune into this show. This is why.
Gosh.
And if you love this and want more of this, hit that subscribe button. We give you a new episode every Thursday, and it covers everything over the course of the week from the new episode to the next. But, I mean, seriously, you want more of this. If you've missed a bunch and you're like, oh, I want more right now, and this is your first time, go back and check out some of the older episodes. They're all great too. They all have Pokemon facts that will scare, horrify, and delight you.
Mainly the first two.
Yeah.
But also, too, you can find this podcast wherever podcasts can be found: iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. You type in "A Wild Podcast Has Appeared," and this show will appear out of the wild grass, ready to be caught. Oh, I like that one.
That was good. That was an excellent pitch.
Nice.
If you love the show so much and you want the chance to win a free T-shirt, leave a review on iTunes. 5 stars. We read it on the air. You get the T-shirt. Not going to read any today because we're going over, but we read a few last week. We'll probably read some next week. Bunch of new batch of shirts are going out this week.
Am I finally getting a shirt, Jim?
No.
Are you sending
can
me a
leave a
shirt?
review so you don't get squat.
I produce the show. I write the script every week.
Look, I can't treat you any differently than I treat our fair listeners. This is a community we're building here, Christian.
This is why I'm always going to discriminate against Geodude and Grappler. The persecution will continue until I get a T-shirt.
With that, we will see you guys next time. You can find me on Twitter at Jim Viscardi.
You can find me at Twitter at Megan Peters CB.
And you can find me on Twitter at CHoffer, CBus.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.